Leanne, and I am a walking disaster. I'm trying to channel Marie for the good mood. So 2 weeks ago, during the snow to end all snows in Scotland, my laptop died. It just, poof, decided one day that it was no longer going to laptop. Luckily, I am an obsessive backer-upper of stuff, so I didn't lose terribly much, but we still had to try and get it from point A to point B to the shop to get it fixed, and then from the shop it had to go to the repair centre and blah 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 blah. Long story short, it is back home where it belongs now with the shiny new hard drive, but on my way in from the car, bringing the laptop very carefully into my home again, what happens? Well, what actually happens is my creepy, angry, cranky, nasty old man neighbour scares the absolute crap out of me again, and I trip and fall over. Except it wasn't that graceful, it was more like and I landed on the laptop and I mangled my knee and I've mangled my ankle. My ankle is really sore. I walk like this now. So cross fingers, so far the laptop seems to be fine despite all of me landing on top of it. It has a few interesting scars, but you know, character building. And I am very pleased to have it back. So as my first video back from my little unplanned sabbatical, I have decided first of all to wear no makeup, yay bare face, and secondly I have decided to bring you some holiday cheer, because in case you didn't read the title, that is correct. I am going on a vacay. Hashtag non-spawn. It's been a long time coming, and when I say fun in the sun, what I actually mean is sitting on our backsides by a pool for 4 days, eating, drinking, possibly making a bingo card of all the things that are free in our package, and reading a whole lot. No swimming and playing tennis and doing word searches like the old married couple that we are, but lots of reading. And so I have decided to bring to you in this video my holiday TBR in the hopes that it gets me super excited, takes my mind off my ankle, and also gets you guys excited, because some of these books are going to be page turners. So first off, I am going to chat about the audiobooks that I'm taking, because I don't know about you guys, but I find public transport of any kind incredibly stressful. Sitting in a little tin can with other people breathing on me and touching me does not make me happy in any way. It sets off all of my little anxiety triggers, and as such I just want to check out, and when I check out I would prefer to check into a fictional world and not be where I am. So I am taking 2, possibly 3, depending on if I get the one that I am currently listening to finished in time, and that is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. This is of course the first book in the wonderful Flavia de Luce mystery series. In case you haven't heard of these books before, they have one foot in sort of the traditional mystery, golden crimey era feel, and one foot in cosy mystery with a definite sinister undertone. This is very much an adult series, but it does follow a young protagonist. I think Flavia, it's hard to tell. I can't remember if she actually has given her age by this point. I'll try and look it up. But to me, she could be anywhere, depending on the moment, between 10 and 13. But she is an aspiring chemist, and she lives with her very complicated family in the old English mansion of Buckshaw in the 1950s. And one day, this bird here, turns up on her doorstep with a postage stamp pinned to its very dead bill. And for some reason, her dad freaks the hell out about it and just runs away, just literally runs away and won't talk about it. And then a dead man shows up in their cabbage patch. And Flavia, being the mini Sherlock Holmes that she is, decides that she is going to find out exactly what is going on and, if possible, keep her poor father out of it. So much happens in so few pages in these books. This one is just a great introduction to the series. We meet everybody who's important, and I guarantee you that if you like anything along the lines of Sherlock Holmes or Agatha Christie, you're going to enjoy these books. And as I say, I'm halfway through this one, so if I finish this in time, I will then move on to this one, which is the second book, The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bow. And yes, all of the names are that weird and I love all of them. And then I am also going to pick up a Miss Marple. This is 11 of 14 in the Miss Marple series if you are reading in publication order, which I am as part of my Agatha Christie project. And I am a little bit trepidatious about this one. I do not want this series to be over in any way. I love Miss Marple. It's one of my favourite mystery series ever, hands down. She is just... I want a pocket version of Miss Marple for all occasions. But the last Miss Marple novel that I read was a Caribbean mystery where Miss Marple went on holiday and I really didn't like it and I ended up DNFing it, which is definitely not something I do with Christie very often. However, I just didn't feel like taking Marple out of her environment and putting her in other places works. I feel like she's at her best when she's in England and preferably in her little village with things going on. And in this one she has gone on another holiday. In this one she's gone up to London and she's staying at Bertram's Hotel, which she thinks is going to be a great experience because it's very much for women of her age and calibre and shouldn't have any rowdy parties or annoying little children or anything. And unfortunately she discovers that there is something going on behind the very polished veneer and that things are accelerating faster than she can really stop them, which is all great, except again she's not in her village. So I'm hoping that Agatha Christie doesn't do that thing where Miss Marple comes in at the end to solve it and that she's involved all the way through, which is one of the other reasons that I don't like it when she gets out of her environment, and the same goes for Poirot basically. So I'm crossing fingers for this one. And now on to the physical books that I'm going to be taking with me, and I can only take a few books this time around. Because we're only going for 4 days, I have just decided to take carry-on luggage on the plane instead of putting something in the hold to try and limit my stress, which means that I can only take what will fit. And the first one that I am so pleased to say that I am taking is this one. This is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I cannot believe that it has taken me 3 months since reading The Good Daughter to read something else off of her backlist, but never mind, I'm going to be rectifying that now. This one has been picked only because it was a recommendation from the wonderful Kirsty from The Tea Is Also Cursed. When I asked her which book I should take away on holiday with me, without even realising I was thinking about Karen Slaughter, she demanded that I pick this one, and I am very happy to go along with her wishes. So this one is also about sisters, and I love the women power in Karen Slaughter's novels. I love what she does with female characters who prop each other up. So this one is about Claire Scott and her sister Julia went missing many years ago, and now she has heard about the case of another woman who has gone missing in very similar circumstances. But what Claire doesn't realise is that these circumstances and investigating them is going to uncover some things about her sister's disappearance that she didn't know and isn't necessarily ready to process. And during this investigation of this new disappearance, something shocking lands in her lap which changes what she thinks forever. This one is 533 pages, so it's not exactly a little chunk, it's quite a big chunk, and hopefully it will keep me going for at least the first couple of days of the holiday. Now with the next two novels I have left myself a big choice because I'm definitely starting with this one. So I have either The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty or White Oleander by Janet Fitch to choose from. I'm going to be taking them both, and again they're quite chunky novels. So in this one, Cecilia, who is a mother of 3 I think and wife of Jean Paul, is in her attic one day and she comes across a letter. This letter is in her husband's handwriting and it says that it is only to be opened on the event of his death, and so she opens it. and reads it. And if she decides to tell everybody what was in this letter, it will not only shatter her life, but everybody's lives around her. The other book that I have here is White Oleander by Janet Fitch. Now, last month I got you guys to pick the next book that I was going to read from my most anticipated from my literary fiction shelves video, and I will pop that up here in case you haven't seen it. February was, apart from the epic snow and the computer issues, not a great month. I still felt so incredibly slumpy, and I finished basically nothing. I finished 2 things and I read a whole heap of other things. That does mean that I still haven't picked up White Oleander, and I don't want to put it back on my shelf. I want to read it soon, and I read the first 10 pages of this just last night when I was deciding finally what was going on this TBR, and I'm definitely taking it with me. It is beautiful. So just to remind you guys of what this is about in case you didn't see my previous video, this one is about Ingrid, who is described on the back as a wild poetess. She is a woman who has some severe mental health difficulties, and she is put in prison for a murder. And her daughter Astrid, who has only ever grown up with Ingrid's sort of weird, nonsensical rules and ways of explaining the world, is then bounced into the LA foster system and made to sink or swim. And it is marketed as a journey of self-discovery for everybody, including the reader. So that is the only reason why I am putting a question mark over this, because Karen Slaughter is painful. Karen Slaughter is pain. She's a great pain, but she is pain. And I don't know which one I will feel more like picking up when I finish Pretty Girls. So that is everything that I am planning on taking on holiday with me. I have definitely picked books that are going to be page turners and are going to keep me reading, because I find that when I get into a bit of a book rut, I need something that is really going to force me to turn those pages. And I feel like I'm on the other end of it now. I'm out of my book slump, but I just want to keep the momentum going. And I don't think White Oleander would be any exception to that. I think it's still going to be a page turner, but maybe a slower and more considered one. So tell me if you guys have read any of these and if you have enjoyed them. Have you picked up the Flavia de Luce books before? Is this a new thing for you? If so, please tell me whether you pick them up or not. I don't see enough people on BookTube talking about them. And finally, as always, thank you guys for sticking with me through the unexpected hiatus. Hopefully, it won't happen again anytime soon. Bye!